how to, encounter the reading techniques and all will go in this week. So reading, full-fledged reading practice will be done in this week along with the grammar and the vocabulary which is needed for you to complete the reading part. Okay, right. So first, the recap. IELTS is nothing but International English Language Testing System. It's of 2 modules, okay? And as it is of 2 modules, one is academic, the other one is general. I'm going a bit faster because this is already a completed session, my dear friends, okay? And academic module is addressed by all of you who are really willing to go abroad and study further, right? And general module is for the people like me who are going to go for further refinement of their career in the form of jobs or something else. Okay. And if we talk about the test, the test is 2 types, as I said right now. The duration of the test is 2 hours 45 minutes, and it is conducted twice, means in a gap of 2 or 3 days. Like on one day you have the exam for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. The other day you have the examination for more 15 minutes. Okay, now what are the modules which are covered and how are you scored in this? You are given a score called as a band score. Okay, so like a grading, A, B, C, D grading, likewise 1 to 9 is the grading. And I already told you yesterday, you have to see 7 onward, 7, 8, 9. And 6 is not a problem, but 6 can easily be scored if you're really working simply on it for 15 to 20 minutes per day. But if you spend 1 hour properly, okay, and you present your strategies into what you're really doing, definitely 7 is not a problem. 7 is not a hurdle. Even 8 is also not a hurdle. Pin to pin, you have to follow everything. Okay. And one more thing. So if you go with the reading part, reading is for 60 minutes, listening is for 30 minutes, writing is for 60 minutes, and speaking is for 15 minutes. Reading we come back at the last because we are going to do reading today. Listening contains 4 questions. There are 2 types of questions which are addressed, but there are total 4. First one is a normal conversation, which is a dialogue about the general phenomenon or the general, talk going on between 2 students or 2 people. And the second one is a monologue, which is again a general expression of a single person. The third set of question or the listening will be on a dialogue again on the academic purpose. Okay. And the next one is going to be a monologue done by some professor or somebody else on anything of knowledge in this world. Okay, so this is going to be your listening. Now, after answering the listening part containing multiple choice, gapless and everything, all types of questions which are there in reading, except that of matching questions, you need to shift your answers of that 30 minutes answered part into the answer sheet. Okay, so 10 minutes will be given to you because you will be scribbling while writing. As I told you yesterday, you have to be shifting your answers from question paper to answer sheet. That support your listening part. Now, when you come to writing part, again, it is for 60 minutes and it's divided like this. You call the question to be a task here. Task 1 as well as task 2. Okay. Now, task 1 is a non-verbal task. You will be given many diagrams. Okay, you have bar diagrams, flow charts, pictographs, whatnot. You may be given some maps also. You may be given some analysis, data analytic graphs. Okay, so you have to compare and contrast between the graphs and you have to present your analysis on the paper, right? So that is what about the reading task 1. And you need to take only 20 minutes to answer the reading task 1. And you have to, not less than 4 paragraphs you have to answer. That is regarding task 1. Now, coming to task 2, it's called as an argumentative essay. You will be asked to write for or against a statement which has been given. So you have to stand on a point, whether you're going to take a positive stand for a point or against the point. Don't get into confusion and don't confuse the examiner and don't make the examiner understand that you are in confusion, right? So that is what you need to look into your task 2. And definitely your writing skills, your tenses, your parts of speech, your prepositions, your idioms, everything has to be addressed over there, you know, because it shows the standard of language that you have when you're presenting your writing. Okay, not only that, you need to be very strong in understanding vocabulary when you're writing, when you're doing your reading part, because you come across so many different kinds of words. So we will be addressing the vocabulary part also. Then the last one is speaking, and it is just for 14 minutes, 11 to 14 minutes. It is again 3 parts. The first part contains, you know, a general conversation. You will be asked some 4 or 5 questions. For each question, you should be answering definitely for 1 minute. Please don't forget that. If you are speaking for more than 1 minute, it is most welcome, but they stop you. But if you are just giving a 1-liner or 2-liner answer, it is not at all accepted, right? And after that, after completion of that 5 minutes, having 4 or 5 questions asked, you will be asked to go for the second round. You will be given a card, okay, which is called as a cue card. Yesterday I asked the questions, my students have replied very well. Okay, so you will be given a cue card. On the top of the card, you will be given a question, okay, and below that you'll have some hints which support you to come with the answer for the question. You will be given 1 minute time for preparation, and you will have to answer the question for 2 minutes. But for the first set, you don't have any time for preparation on spot. Using your common sense, you have to give your answer, right? And now based on the conversation that you're doing here, okay, based on the conversation that you're that you have already done in the first part as well as the second part, you will be asked the questions in the third part, right? So you should be really very careful. You should have a good memory, as well as, you know, you have to create a trust in the examiner also, that yes, the person, the girl or the boy who's sitting before me is really genuine in his or her thought. Okay, the genuinity is also counted, my dear students. So please be realistic. How you are, you present yourself. Not for the sake of examiner, not for sake of something else. Yes, we do practice. Let us practice perfectly and go forward to address the examiner, not vaguely, right? So this is regarding your speaking. And as I told you, you have to be, you know, speaking will be done after or before 2 days. So that is it. Yesterday we completed, and this is a gateway which allows you to more than 140 countries, and more than 3 million people have taken the test. More than 1,000 organizations around the world, you know, give you an opportunity. More than that, I say, give the opportunity to take you into them. And it's also a standardized test, very standardized test. This tests your ability, whether you could understand, you know, a native speaker of English. We are not native speakers, as I said to you yesterday in the beginning of the conversation. We are the foreign learners and non-native speakers of English. So we are tested on this. And it's also not at all difficult, but at the same time, if you don't follow the strategies and you go on a very rote learning method, a normal strategy, it will not be helpful to you. Okay. So today, let us begin. And 5 minutes I used only for the recap of the whole lesson, so that yesterday who has missed might have got some advantage out of it. That's the reason why I went on very fast. Okay. Now let me share the screen and go for today's session.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Please take a pen and a
Can I ask
paper
you a
if you
question?
can. If you have, that would really suffice.
Ma'am, sorry for the interruption. May I ask a question?
So as I told you, very slowly we go, because reading and today I'm not going deeper into every question. Tomorrow, question by question. And you know, by today you will get one test. Test in the sense, I'm not like a link. Ma'am will be sending you from APNRT. You will be getting one paper. Kalyan, please stop it. Okay, you will be getting one paper. You'll be getting one paper, and on that you have one of the sections where you have to answer the questions. Okay, right. So you have to answer the questions, and you have to check how you are standing in your reading part. That is just your self-assessment. And tomorrow we will have a discussion on each and every answer that you have done. Actually, reading contains 3 passages. Okay, let us come to reading. Dear friends, reading is something which actually contains, which takes a toll. Okay, somebody is chatting here.
Harshini, hello. Hello.
Speak loudly.
Hello, Harshini.
It's okay, it's okay. Huh.
Harshini
Before
garu,
they see, because you know, when you actually happen to go to your question papers, regular way of process of answering anything, you will have an idea. Okay, this is my
Harshini garu.
psychology paper. Suppose you're a psychology student, you would understand the by subjects of psychology will only be tested. Okay, if you are a student from medicine, you will have the subjects allied to medicine. If you are a student of engineering, you'll have the papers, question papers, or the stuff of reading only related to engineering, right? But here, we suppose I'm a student from management. Okay, if I am given something from a medicine background, or else from psychology, or some astrophysics, first thing is, what is happening? What magic is happening? How could I answer this? What is this terminology? I didn't come across this. This starts in our mind. Okay, that's the first mistake that we do. So first thing which we actually have to take into consideration is we should not be in panic mode. Okay, so never get panic. Are you not able to listen?
Yes, ma'am. You are audible.
One of you please reply. Am I audible to you?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you. Right. So if there is any problem with the voice, please let me know through the chat. It would be useful. Right. So
Yeah,
I
Harshini garu,
already
this is
said,
Harikishan.
because you actually come across so many,
Only chatting,
platforms of
bros.
knowledge. When you get into reading, you first get into panic mode. The next thing which we do, as we used to do in our childhood, is suppose a reading part or a reading piece is given to you, you normally start from sincerely as a student, sincere students, like all our sincere students, start from reading from line to line, reading line by line, which is actually a blunder in IELTS. Okay. Right. So, so it is reading line by line is a blunder in IELTS, which you have to immediately stop when you're answering any test. Not only in IELTS, at least in IELTS, you have 20 minutes to answer a question, means a reading comprehension. But if it is a GRE paper, you will have, I tell you, please remember, you have only 5 to 6 minutes to answer one reading comprehension, not one question. One full reading comprehension in GRE or GMAT, you have 5 to 6 minutes to answer. So understand what strategies you have to go with. But IELTS, compared to that, IELTS is giving you a comfort zone only, very comfort zone, I say. Okay. Now, how is that? You have to go with the IELTS. Right. Now, the first tip that we actually have to remember is do not at all. Okay, paper, I am a management student, or else I'm an engineering student. The paper has come, the reading comprehension has come from psychology. How could I answer? No problem. No problem. First of all, let us understand what is the need of the hour. What is that the person wanted? What is that the examiner wanted, or the reader wanted? Sorry, the writer wanted us from us. Okay. Now, the first thing is don't read the passage. Okay. You actually have to go with the question. Okay. Read the question paper rather than reading the passage. Right. So you have to start a reverse engineering here. Start reading the questions one by one. And one very commonsensical point that we all have to remember is all the questions would be given in a chronological order. I guess you know what is chronological order. It is by the order of understanding, Okay, so it is by the order of understanding how, if it is in 98, then 98 comes first, then 99, in the order of time. Then if it is arranged, that is called as chronological order. So don't go with the reading part, read the questions first. Now, as if I asked you to read the questions, what do you do when you're doing the reading part? You have to underline the keywords. Okay. So what is that you have to do? You have to underline the keywords. Now, this is not actually present here. Just take the tips that I'm telling you. See, first thing which you have to interact with your paper of reading is don't read the reading part or the essay. You read the question and underline the keyword. So what is this? What is this keyword? Where did it come from? Now, normally the keywords are the nouns, not the pronouns, adjectives, adverbs. Okay, nouns, adjectives, adverbs. These are all the keywords. Now, what do you do is, because we are human beings and we have more of a common sense and intuition, it's easy because, when you have a glance over the passage, you understand, okay, it talks about biology, it talks about psychology, it talks about, some engineering, physics, or something else. So you would understand. So you will be taking the actual part of it and, okay, so you will underline. So you will have to underline the keywords in the questions. Now you again should have a doubt. Ma'am, should I read all the questions and underline all the keywords and then come for reading? No. Okay. Now what's that you have to do? You have to read the questions first of the first set. Let's say normally the set total number of questions which are there in the reading part, yesterday as we discussed, there are 40 questions. Even in listening, you have 40 questions. So normally the questions are divided like this: 3 questions in one set, next 4 questions, next 5 questions, likewise. Okay. So according to the set of questions, you read the first set of questions and stop there and underline the keywords. Now what should you do? After underlining the keywords, what should you do? Now you have to go into the passage. How you should go into your passage, with which mind you have to go into the passage, is that you have to read the passage on the whole like a story you used to read, or else you have to check, is that you're going to check only the keyword and come with the answer immediately. That is what you have to take a decision. My dear friends, from your childhood, you used to do any of your reading comprehension, reading passage, then again coming to question, again going to passage, coming and answering the question. But it should not be done like that. Okay. Now, you have a keyword with you. And I already told you there is one common sense that we need to understand. Any question will be given in the order of chronology. Normally, the first question will be from first paragraph. Second question will be from the second or the third or the first paragraph last. They won't give the questions from bottom to top. They will only give the questions from top to bottom. So normally a keyword would be found out. Now you may ask me a question, ma'am, will the exact keyword be there in the passage? 90%. 90% the exact keyword will be there in the passage. Okay, fine. You have started reading the first question. Okay, first 3 subtopics, sub-questions. In the Roman number 1, you have 1, 2, 3 questions. You underline the keyword. Okay, now you have taken the keyword from the first question and you started checking the reading passage. Yes, you found the exact word. Now what's that you have to do? You found only the keyword, but you didn't find the answer, my dear friends. Stop there. Stop there near the keyword. Okay. Now, what is that you have to do? Stop there, read 2 lines before and read 2 lines after, including the word. That means if the word is there in the third sentence, first, second lines and fourth, fifth lines, you have to read. Okay. While you're reading, okay, when you found the keyword, first thing what you have to do is read the question carefully. Understand what is actually asked. Okay. In many questions, the author has mentioned about this point except if it is being given. You'll read till the last. The author has mentioned about this point and you will miss except, and you will be searching for that. What's the use of it? So you have to be really very careful. After finding the keyword, stop there, check the question. What is the question demanding as the answer? Come back, okay? And read 2 lines before and 2 lines after. Then you will understand the situation, and definitely the answer, 95 to 99%, the answer will be there in that box of 4 lines only, 100%. Okay, this is through practice and this is through experience, which I am telling you, right? You can also experiment. Today I'll be giving you the paper, then you can even experiment on that. It takes 20 minutes for you. Tomorrow morning you can complete. Fine. So you have underlined the keyword, searched. Now here you have to understand, you have followed one tip of reading, okay? Your strategy of reading, right? What strategy of reading you have followed? There are actually, let me tell you, my dear friends, if you're taking a notes, just write down roughly, there are 3 strategies of reading, okay? PPT wise, I'll explain afterwards, but listen to me. There are 3 strategies of reading. One is skimming. Skimming, I repeat, skimming, S-K-I-M-M-I-N-G, skimming. Spellings are very important. Never come across a wrong spelling, okay? Then never write a wrong spelling. Then scanning. The second technique is scanning. And the third technique is skipping. Skimming, scanning, and skipping. Skipping. Okay, skipping. Right. I guess you can easily understand. Now, let us put this reading comprehension aside. First, let us understand what are the strategies. Okay, then we'll come back. You have to follow. Your listening skill is also very important, my dear friends. You have to follow the logical sequence. Where did I stop and where I'm looking into this? This is what happens. This is what happens even in your reading and listening parts. They speak something. Okay. Now, what is this first strategy? Skimming. Okay. Now, just assume all of you, in the morning, you go to the newspaper and you just, right. What you do is you just go to the newspaper and you open the newspaper, and because you're still in a sleepy mood, okay, just want to know what happened yesterday night. You have browsed through your Instagram as well as Facebook or Twitter or something else, and you got some news already in your mind that would be there pasted in the next day morning newspaper. You want to match it. So what you do, you just turn the pages faster and you just go on reading the headlines very faster. Okay, then you come across one interesting heading. See, actually, there is a protest of farmers, which is actually going on in Delhi, right? So you might have heard, about that. So that would be actually, the main point that you're thinking about. Or recently, any current affair that is being, you are actually thinking, yeah, tomorrow I have to see. Or if you're interested in anything of a filmy thing or cinematic things, you would go into the newspaper and you will read it, right? So you look at the side headlines faster, and reading of the headlines faster, okay, to stop where you want to just look at. Suppose, don't mistake me, just for your information, I'm telling you. Recently, our heroine, Miss, who's that lady? Niharika's wedding has happened in Udaipur, right? And all of us were watching videos, were watching, the news and everything which is there about Niharika's wedding only. For 1 week to 10 days, we are also in the mad go, right? So so when the newspaper came on the next day, we are also looking forward to see what's happening. Okay, so we'll stop there. So in our mind, we are thinking about, okay, farmers protest. Yes, farmers protest. Then you have, Niharika's wedding. Yes. And, there is some news given by the government that our state government that yes, the vaccine for this corona has come into existence. Yes, there are some, policies which are implemented in our state for the benefit of the youth, like you people. So those, you're waiting for that. So you wait there, you stop there. That is how, you are skipping unnecessary information and you're coming to the needed information where you want it, right? So obviously that technique is nothing but skipping. Okay, that is skipping. And while you're skipping unnecessary things and coming and reading faster to know only the needed information, that is called as skimming, doing a speed read. Okay, that is called as skimming. And okay, you got the news, you got the headlines where you wanted in the 4th page or 5th page. Immediately open that and you scan it, every line you read, because it is an interesting aspect for you. That is called as scanning, right? Similarly, here we actually have an intention to search for the keyword. So when you're searching for the keyword, you skip the unnecessary information which is not needed. First word is okay. First 3 questions are okay. In the first part only you find out. But coming to the last part of the questions like 12th or 13th, you might have to run through the passage again from beginning to end and all. Some more exercise has to be done. So this techniques, what technique is to be adapted for what type of question is very important. So skimming is, skimming, getting rid of the information and focusing only, reaching to the information which is needed. Okay. And skimming is nothing but, while you're doing a speed reading, focusing on needed information and doing a faster reading is called as skimming. And scanning, when you have found out the keywords, focused reading on the aspect or on the turn of getting the answer with a goal to get the answer from the 4 lines, the box of 4 lines, 2 lines before and 2 lines after. Okay, that is called as scanning. Okay, now before we go to that, we all have to understand how actually a paragraph will be written. There should be a skeleton for everything. My dear friends, normally any English writer, not only a writer of English, anybody who writes something in the form of paragraph, even you when you write, there are some basics which you have to follow how to write a paragraph. It's not that you start with something, you end with something. Never. There is a skeleton for a paragraph. Okay. Remember, please, if you want to take a note, you can take note. First line is a topic sentence. First line of a paragraph is a topic sentence. That means if I want to talk about cosmetology, I just try to give an intro by one line in the cosmetology or introduce about the past of it. That is called as a topic sentence. The topic sentence always reveals, yes, what is the author wanting or what does the author want to tell you in the next part of the sentence. Okay. So first line will be an introductory sentence. Like in a essay, the first paragraph will be an introduction. Okay. Next paragraph will be an explanation of intro. And next paragraph will be explanation of first paragraph. Likewise, in the paragraph also, the first line will be an intro. Second line, third line, fourth line supports the first line. Okay. Second line explains first line. Third line is example, explaining most part of the first and second lines. And last line is something which again supports the first line. So the reading tip 2 is here. This is all I told to explain you the reading tip 2. The first tip which I told you is don't go with the reading part, go with the questions. Okay. Second tip is understand the title. Okay. Understand the title. Here title is mentioned. Instead of title, I would like to tell you, understand what is the concept of the author by reading the first line and also read the last line. Okay. Then you will understand, oh, I'm talking about a single paragraph. Also, if you want to understand what is actually the part of this reading comprehension part, okay, what is actually discussed? Is it about the advantages or disadvantages? Is it about the limitations or is it about the future prospects? If you want to know what the author has discussed, Normally, you have to read the first paragraph and read the last paragraph. Then you will have a whole, oh, this is what has been, told by the author. Then if you again want to know about every paragraph, first line and last line of the paragraph, and also search for the keywords. Okay, that is very important. And this is again this type of reading the first paragraph and last paragraph to know the main content of the passage is nothing but skimming. Okay, and you are searching for the keywords only, not going for reading like a story. Okay, now for example, if I want you all to read, how would you read? There is one passage, for example, I would take something else. There's one passage given to you about anything on the universe, okay? Right. Talk about health. There is something written by the author and you started reading. You found a keyword called as hazard, okay? You have to search for the hazard. First paragraph started. Nowadays, because of many problems which are going on, which are being prevailing in the world, this is how you're reading. Passage is there before you. I'm thinking, and you're reading like this. Nowadays, there are so many problems in the world, and many hazards are into existence, and especially COVID-19 is into existence because of whatever. If you read like this, what is the use of it? Where will you find, okay, you found the keyword called as hazard, but hazard has been repeated. Or you would actually in the speed, you will miss your keyword also. Okay, this is something called as reading without a heart and soul put into it. How you have to read is read with foresight, read with anticipation. You know what is anticipation? You read with a foresight to understand what is the author going to tell in the next line, next line, next line. The curiosity is to be there. And actually many authors try to give the curiosity through their whatever writings that they have. Normally in every movie also you have that suspense. Suspense will be maintained. And you should also read with that kind of, not with suspense, kind of understanding, and read with foresight. If you don't have the foresight, you read your passage with the keywords or any technique or any technology that you have in your mind, nothing will go and nothing you could answer. You will answer, but you will answer something which is not related to the question. Okay? So read with foresight. Next. And as I told you, don't read every sentence. See, let's start with the main point of the paragraph. So my main point again, normally the passage, this is the point which I already told you. Therefore, I'm showing you this. Okay, what is the best reading tip for you? Don't read every sentence. Read the first paragraph, first line of the paragraph, and then go for the last line. In the middle, that is not important. Okay, then what is the second thing you have to do? Then go inside the passage and check how is that you want it to go. Lekashri, can I ask you to put off your video? Lekashri? Or the host may put off the video of Lekashri. Right. Nice. So this is what you're going to do. And next thing is, when you are going on with the reading part, yes, you have to underline the keywords. Once you underline the keyword, as I told you, answer will be there in the first 2 lines or after 2 lines. Okay. And how much time that you have to spend? I told you today I'm going to go on an outline basis, address all type of questions. Tomorrow I will be addressing on each and every question, what technique and how you should, go into each and every part of each and every type. 11 type of questions are there. 11 varieties in 11 ways. Not each in 11 ways. In 11 ways, we will test tomorrow, taking 1 question each. That's why today I'm giving you a test to test how you are actually, to test yourself and get ready for tomorrow's session. And you should not spend more than 1 minute for answering each question. Okay. So you actually have 40 questions. Okay. So if you spend 40 minutes for questions, 50 minutes for reading and 5 minutes for checking. Now, one thing I want to tell you, my dear friends, you don't have any extra time. In listening, you have an extra time. After 30 minutes, you have an extra time of 10 minutes, right? But here you never have 10 minutes time to shift the answers from question paper to answer sheet. Okay, you have your answer sheet. I'll show you the format, how the answer, exact IELTS answer paper will be there. Okay, in the next session. So you have to be really very careful. Only see how much time you have. 15 minutes for reading and 40 minutes for answering questions. Okay, right. And you have to definitely use 5 minutes for checking, without which you will again definitely go wrong. Now, yesterday I showed you this. You have these type of questions. Again, we will go with the next slide to go. And fine. As I told you the points, read the questions first. Try and perfect the first two of the sections. Invest on quality review materials for reading the text. Okay. Now, what is that you have to do? First thing, so reading the question first is what we address. The second point which is mentioned here is, okay, don't see, as if your paper is there with you. I will start from the last, I'll start from the middle, I'll start from the whatever part. You can do it. If you are a real expert in doing reading section, you can start from the last question, come to first or middle to last. But that requires a lot of practice. But you people are novice. You people are amateur. Okay. That means you have to, even though you have given a test, you are experimenting, right? So what is that you have to do is go in an order and complete first two sections. If you are assured of it, yes, you have understood the main point of the reading comprehension passage, and it will be very easy for you to answer the rest. Okay. And in order to develop the reading material, the quality of, understanding the reading material, you try to open the editorial part of the newspapers. Let it be, anything, your Indian Express or Deccan Chronicle or Times of India, anything. You just take out the reading, the middle page of editorial part, and you just try to come across it. And I even recommend you people to read even the Young World. Actually, Young World is for the students who are there till 11th standard, but you can also, many of the research papers you can read, okay, so that you will understand the various dimensions of how a person interacts or writes about any concept, right? And more of practice is required. As many reading exercises you do, it would be really, really helpful to you. And never at all assume, okay, don't go with the assumption. What is this point of assumption is, okay, I have read, suppose, for example, you have read twice the first two paragraphs for a set of first three questions. Then for the next set also, second, third paragraph come into existence. Then you feel, okay, why should I read the second paragraph again? Already I have completed reading this. I have an idea, I'll write the answer. No. Even though you have an assumption of an answer, go there to the point with the keyword, try to perfect it and come back and present your answer. That exactness, the precision is very much needed. Okay. And also one more thing which you all have to take into consideration is reading the instructions. Many people do mistakes here. Okay. How, in the sense, if you don't have this attitude, okay, you have a confidence attitude, it's okay. But if it is an overconfidence attitude, see, there will be a question like, answer the following questions in no less than 3 words. Answer the following questions you will read, and you will try to answer them less than 3 words. Or more than 3 words, because you didn't read that. Okay. So if you have, you may think after writing the question, answering the question, I have answered. But you didn't follow the following as yes, no, not given, or true, false, not given. You may think yes, no, not given, or true, false, not given are the same, and you will answer the questions as however you want it. Suppose the question is given for yes, no, not given. You might have answered true, false, not given. Okay, so that also takes it all away. And they also give you the multiple choice questions. Okay, wherein in some questions, this function will be utilized by the machine. Usually, if it is given, you have to go with the regular condition of the machine. But if something like, this is not the function of the machine usually. Usually you have seen and not you have missed. You may write a wrong answer, which might be an answer for usually. So you have to be not only reading the instruction of the question along with the keyword. Is there any twister will be there? Okay. So I'll also talk about those twists and all. So those traps, I rather call them to be traps. You should not go into those traps and you should not mess up your answers. Okay. So you should have a right attitude. You should have confidence. That should not go for overconfidence, and never go with assumption in writing your reading comprehension. Okay. This is an all-round assumption and the best way of going with tips. Okay. Now, just read. First thing which you all have to take into consideration is, okay, you have to go, don't read everything. Look at, the right side of when you're sitting. Don't read everything, find only the answers to the questions. Our motto is that. But at the same time, look at the opposite. Read quickly through 1 and 2 minutes to get the general idea. So my friends, I told you, go with the questions. Yes, you go with the questions. But first thing you have to do is form a general idea on which this passage is addressed. So to get the general idea, read the first paragraph full and the last paragraph full. In the middle, don't read. Okay, just go by skimming and skipping process. Fast reading and skip information so that a general idea will be stamped in your mind, right? And normally what happens is, these are the essays which are written by all the well acknowledged and well educated people and intellectual persons, so that their understanding capability of vocabulary will be more. So they may use them generally, casually, but don't get panic. Okay, if you have come across a difficult word which you haven't learned, don't worry. That's why I asked you, why did I ask you to read 2 lines before and 2 lines after? Because as human beings, we have a general tendency, a commonsensical approach to smell, okay, to identify what is, to guess what is the exact, what is the nearby meaning of the context. So if you come across the difficult words or vocabulary, don't at all go into panic mode. Only be very peaceful, okay? You will definitely come with a rough meaning reading the 2 lines or 3 lines before and after. Okay. And then after reading that reading comprehension as a general extract, reading first paragraph and last paragraph, try to predict what is this about. Is this about advantages or disadvantages or analysis or limitations? You come to a conclusion. Okay. So as first it is mentioned, predict what the text is about. In order to predict what is that you have to know, you have to read quickly through 1 to 2 minutes and get the general idea. And then the bottom one, you have to read the questions and highlight the keywords. That's the major concern of reading comprehension. Today I'm talking only about that. And ignore the unknown words and try to guess their meanings. Don't worry about them. Don't read everything, find only the answers to the questions. It's not your, nobody has tested your, see, if you have to answer a question like an essay, you have to know everything about the passage. You are not asked to write essays. You are asked to answer only pinpointedly. So only answer the questions and check your answers and exclude the extra options. This is where your ability should lie. I told you yesterday also that, okay, normally when you are actually going with a passage, you will be given questions like multiple choice or, the titles of the passages, which will be more and more. So you should be really very careful when you're answering them. Okay, because 5 questions, answers can be 10. So there lies the difficulty and there lies your ability. Okay, when we touch the strategies, we go. Now I come back to this question after to this slide after I explain the type of questions. Okay, come on friends, you can take a picture or else you can write. Okay, what are the types of questions that you have? You have first set of question which is called as multiple choice question. Okay, and in multiple choice also, A general question would be asked. 1.2 is given C. First one is multiple choice. 1.2 is answering a question. A general question would be asked. You have to underline the keyword, search for the answer. Choices will be there. But another multiple choice will be there where they start a sentence and ask you to end the sentence from the passage. So multiple choice questions can be of two kinds in your IELTS. It might be a question with a question mark, and you might be given the choices. It might be a sentence with a fill in the blank at the end where the answer will be there found in the reading comprehension. So this is the first set of question. Normally the first set will be that only you have to answer. Okay. Then the next one is identify the information. So you have to identify what is the author's view, what is the writer's view is the third one. So you see, according to the passage, numismatics talks about. I used the word numismatics. I guess you people know about what is numismatics. What is philately? Philately is a hobby of collecting stamps, and numismatics is again talking about the coins, collection of coins. Okay. So, see, I told you, no, don't worry about that. Regarding numismatics and all, they will expand in the next part somewhere. Indirectly, they'll expand. You will obviously know. They talk more about coins when they're talking about numismatics. So you can logically, very commonsensically make out that yes, it is regarding coins. So identifying information. So you have to identify the information again using that skimming scanning process. Okay. Once you skim and reach to one point, you have to go with the scanning procedure. Then writer's views and claims. This is where we always, the third one is again a trap for us. My dear friends, as human beings, maybe we might be a student of one dimension or one arena. Suppose you talk about me, I'm a student of management and literature. And somebody might be a student of engineering, somebody might be a student of medicine or something else, right? But we have an overview on everything because we read newspapers, we understand what is going on. So we have a general common sense in our mind. So what happens is the trap here is, what do the writer, okay, answers according to his view. Suppose you ask me to write an essay on media and its intervention on the youth. I may have a positive opinion. Normally, when this point has been asked, everyone will talk about the negative side. But I want to be different because winners don't do different things. They do a thing differently. So I want to be different. I want to be a winner. So I definitely talk in a different way. That means when any person asks a questions on my speech, you have to answer according to my speech, not according to your common sense. You might have a view that media has a negative advantage, but I talk about a positive advantage. Okay, so here, whatever author says or whatever the writer says is final. It's like a Bible. Okay, so you have to definitely follow. If the author says it has 10 legs, it has 10 legs. It doesn't have legs and it can run. Yes, it doesn't have legs and it can run. We have to believe in that. And he will explain why is that, how is that, everything. Because he is an intellectual. That's why he writes. And his essay has come to an IELTS exam. It's not a simple thing. Okay. So you have to be very careful because the answers which are given to you, okay, again, they might be given, identifying writer's view might also be given in a multiple choice form, okay, which can be included in the multiple choice answering question form, completion form. So how is the physical answer as well as the writer's answer? You have to definitely go with the writer. Very much. Okay. Next, you have matching information. As I told you, making it difficult, they give you more of choices. More and more of choices. Exactly 50% more of choices. Matching headings. Again, it's not at all difficult. And matching features. Matching features are also like they give you a choice of various options to you where you have to match. Okay. And then matching sentence endings. This is like giving a matching. Instead of giving a fill in the blank, they give you extra choices. So you have to answer them. And then you have sentence completions. This again, I tell, it also has another name, my dear friends. It is also called as gap filler. Okay. Now, here the challenge lies. The challenge lies in writer's opinion as well as sentence completion. Why, I'll tell you. Now, actually, an essay is written by the author. Listen to me carefully. An essay is written by the author. Questions are not given by the author. Please try to understand. Questions are not given by the author. Questions are given by the examiner. Okay. Now, sentence completion might be a summary from the last two paragraphs, or as first two paragraphs, or middle paragraphs. Okay. So those 2-3 paragraphs will be taken into consideration and made into a small 4-liner paragraph. Okay. That means this is an indirect intervention. It should be answered in the author's view only, but the question will be asked in the examiner point of view. So here you have to have a link of both the author's opinion, not the author's opinion. It's not the opinion, author's ideology as well as the examiner's opinion. Okay. So this has 2 challenge level. Whereas this question, which I told you, identifying writers and information and view, has a single challenge. This has a double challenge. Okay. So this again is something which is a major trap in answering. And even summary is given in the form of sentence completion. Summary are given in the form of fill in the blanks, right? Normally. And those fill in the blanks, in these kind of exams, especially in TOEFL and IELTS, they're called as gap fillers. They are a bit difficult. Provided if you have a proper commonsensical approach, you understand the logical intervention between the examiner as well as the writer, you can easily do it. And the rest are very easy. Note, table, flowchart, it will be definitely arranged in an order, chronological order. It will not miss the order. They're very easy. Diagram label completion, it's also easy. It's not difficult, especially for you guys having a technical background. And even though you're a management student, you have normally these days, every child has a technical background. You can answer. And short answer questions. Short answer questions are what I said. Answer the following questions in no less than 3 words in one sentence. Normally, one sentence questions will never be there. No less than 3 words. That's why read the instruction carefully. Only then you could answer the question very well. So, once recap, you have the direct multiple choice questions, which has completing every set I will be talking tomorrow. How to address every type of question with examples, we'll do them tomorrow. Okay. And completing a sentence, answering a question are the parts where they are there in multiple choice. Then identifying the information, general information. Very importantly, a major first trap is identifying writer's information and claims, matching information, matching headings, matching features. They are the sentences which have to be matched. Then matching sentence endings. Okay. Then sentence completion or gap fillers. Then summary. Sentence completion, summary are again a second level trapper. Normally, you might have come from MPC or BPC, level 1 questions, level 2, level 3 questions. Sentence completion is like a level 2 to 3 question, whereas, writer's information and claim is a level 2 question, and rest of the questions are level 1 questions. And level 2 questions will be also coming from matching headings and matching features and sentence endings also, when the choices are more. Okay. And when if the choices are more also, there's no difficulty, my dear friends. But the choices will be given to you as if many of the choices meet each other slightly. Okay. There will be some resemblance between the choices. Then you go into confusion. Oh no, what is that I have to write? Okay. So these are the challenges which you have, but they are not at all impossible to answer. They're very easy to answer, provided you have a peace of mind. I already told you in the beginning, it can come from any background. Looking at the paper itself, looking at the essay itself, oh no, it has come from something else. It's not from heaven. It's not from some place else, not a mythological place or a mysterious place. It is written by a human being. So a human being can answer that. Okay? Right. Next. Now, so I already told you, let us recap. Don't expect to understand every word because it's not needed. You will get a rough idea and practice your reading skills through reading the editorials, reading magazines, reading research papers and all. Okay, read anything which is not related to your present, arena of study. You read. Suppose you are a management student, read science. If you are a science student, read math. Anything. Okay, don't panic at all. And it's really a vocabulary test. So I will develop vocabulary in you. And timing is very, very crucial, my dear friends. If you don't follow the timing, if you answer only 2 essays, completing that reading comprehension, you have 3, you answered only 2, it's of no use. Okay, one question carries 1 point. So 40 questions are there. Carry only 1 minute for one question, as I told you. Okay. And as humans, we have already a general knowledge about any common sense about anything, but don't carry your common sense when you are answering this reading. Practice slow as well as fast. Today, which I'm going to send you the paper, please practice it. Please do it as you do it normally. You used to do it normally. Or if you want to test your patience levels and test, you answer it both the ways. I recommend you first you answer it normally and see the time. Okay, like as you used to do. And you go with the technical way, as I said. It may be confusing in the beginning, okay, because you're not used to. Since our childhood, our teachers have taught read the reading comprehension, then answer the questions. It would be a bit difficult for you in the beginning, but once you started practicing and going on with everything, it is very, very easy. I'm telling you, one passage today is easy for you, but going on, you may have on history or you may have on anything which might be difficult for you. So don't go with the normal method, go with the technical method. Okay. And when you are transferring, this is during the examination or during our test, which when we give, when you're transferring the answers into your answer sheet, spellings are very, very, very crucial aspects which are to be taken care of. Small spelling mistake, even though your answer is correct, it gives you a big, it will be wrong. Okay. So you have to focus on spellings. If your spelling strength is not much with you, please refer to spellings. If you want, I will send you some tips on spellings as well as some words which are required to learn during the IELTS spellings also. Whatever you require, I'll support you. And leave no blanks. Normally in our question papers, we don't know one question, you leave it. Leave no blanks. Who knows? It might be correct. So and there is no minus mark. There's no negative mark like JEE mains or NEET or any kind of high level exam. So go with this is an international level, no negative marks, so leave no blanks. So these are the general reading tips which we have to talk about. Okay. Now, so when you look for something special, read in detail. See, this is what actually we go when we start tomorrow's session. This is the introduction slide of tomorrow's session. So I guess related to reading, you have got even the yes or no question strategy also. I will give you tomorrow. Okay. Now, as I promised you yesterday, so any doubts till now for any of the students who have been listening to this class? The techniques of reading has to be taken into consideration. Okay. Shall I continue?
Ma'am, I have a question.
Okay.
So
Can
there were
anyone chat with me? Shall I continue or okay?
hello, I have a question, ma'am. I'm not sure if I'm audible. Hello.
Okay, regarding recordings and everything, APNRT will take a decision, but I would definitely tell you Once the recording is given to you, actually what happens is you will only go with the recording rather than listening to the class. So it is very important. And see, as these are the introductory sessions, we may not have the interaction more, but coming to the next sessions and all, more of interaction should happen, and you have to come and ask the doubts, and that's very important because you should not stop anywhere. So definitely we will see to it. Okay. Yeah, you, because of some security problems and all, we may be, okay. My headset is on. I'm not able to listen to anyone.
Ask the question.
My speaker is on, my dear students. Mr. Koti, are you able to listen to me? Say yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, you are
No.
audible, but someone is asking a question. I guess your speaker is either off or please check once.
Shravan, are you able to listen to me? Say yes or no.
Yes, ma'am. Your voice is audible, ma'am. But our
Shravan?
voice is not audible.
Okay, thank you. You're able to listen. There might be a problem from your side, Mr. Koti. Okay. Now, for those who actually, this is very important that we have to go on with the grammar part. Before I go with this, there are 8 parts of speech which are there in English language. You can make a note. I'll tell you a bit faster because 3 parts of speech are very important for us during the reading part. 4 parts of speech. 3 are important during the reading part. 1 is important. 2 are important during the writing part. These are very, very important. So you should be very careful. So let us talk about them. The first one goes with the noun. As you all know that it talks about a name. Second one is a pronoun, which talks about something which is used instead of a noun, like he, she, it, and all. And then you go with the verb, which talks about the action. I come back to verb when I start the tenses. Then you have adjective, which explains about a noun. Okay. He is intelligent. Ramu is intelligent. Ramu is said to be a noun because it's a name. And intelligent is talking about Ramu, therefore it's an adjective. Okay. Then adverb. Adverb is something which talks about a verb, which explains about a verb. Ramu runs very fast. Okay. Fast is something which is not explaining about Ramu directly, but explains about running of Ramu. Therefore, it's an adverb, right? And then you have a preposition. Ramu is standing on a table or, hiding under the table. So if a word talks about a position or brings the relation between 2 parts of speech, that is called as preposition, which is very important for you to place properly when you're writing your essay or is doing your speaking part. Okay. And next one is conjunction, which combines the sentences. Like, I worked hard, but I did not achieve success. I achieved success, for I worked hard. So when there are connectors in between, when you combine the sentences, those are called as, conjunctions. And if you want to express something suddenly, wow, hooray, excellent, okay. And alas, these are said to be interjections. So you have totally 8 parts of speech, and 9th one is also included by the modern grammarians. That is called as determiner, okay. Determiners are included into parts of speech, but classical grammarians have taken only 8 parts of speech into consideration. Now, what is important that we have to understand is, as I said, keywords are nothing but nouns, which are nothing but names. Adjectives which talk about a noun. Okay, for example, when you look at the sentence which is there here. First, something special, read in detail. When you look something special, You read in detail. Now you have a word called as special there. What is it doing? It is explaining about something, and that something is name given to something. Okay, so that's a kind of a pronoun. But whereas special is talking about a pronoun or a noun, therefore that is called as an adjective. Okay. Now look at the second sentence. Before reading the full passage, when you pose a question, what to a word, and you get back the answer, that is called as a noun. What are you reading? Okay, that is a passage, right? So passage is a noun. Now what is that talking about the passage? Full. Full is explaining about the passage, describing about the passage. Therefore that full is called as an adjective. So underline the keywords. Okay. Now, sorry. Now look at the third line. Read fastly. Read fastly. You have the words read fastly. Read is an action word, which is a verb. And fastly is explaining about the verb. Therefore, it's an adverb. And also continue, because a slow reader always loses. Again, loses is something a verb because it's an action. And always is talking about a verb. Okay, always loses. Loses is a verb. Always is talking about a verb. Therefore, it is an adverb. So, your ability, my dear friends, why am I touching parts of speech which no IELTS trainer will touch is, first of all, you have to have an identity of what is a noun, what is an adjective, and what is an adverb. Okay, so you have to identify them, right? Always is an adverb here because it's explaining about a verb. Fine. And then prepositions. Let us check the prepositions. First sentence, in is a preposition. When you look something special, read in detail. So in is a preposition because it is combining or bringing the relation between read and detail, right? So, and look at the next sentence. Second sentence, look for it. Look for it. For, look is a verb and it is a pronoun, and it brought the relation between the words. Therefore, it's a preposition. Not always that a preposition should talk about a position. It can also talk about word. It can also talk about a relation. Okay. So these are very important. Next, we are going to an important part called as tense. Okay. Now, before going to tense, maybe you might have learned or not, I don't know. Maybe you might have understood that the verb is nothing but a word of action. Okay, my dear friends, verb is a word of action. For example, he ran fast. The verb is ran because it talks about the action. But he is fast. Okay, he is fast means he is active. Now in the sentence, what is the verb? There's no action word. What is the verb? Because you are told by your teachers is a helping verb from your childhood, you will tell that is a verb. Why is a verb? Okay. Then come down to the next example. He has a pen. He has a pen. Where is the action word there? But has is a verb because your teacher told you. Right? Now, let me refine the 10. Refine what is a verb. Verb has three definitions. Verb is a word which talks about state. State means paristhiti, condition. Okay. He is fast. He is innocent. He is magnanimous. Magnanimous means kind-hearted. Okay. He is loquacious. Loquacious in the sense a person who doesn't doesn't close his mouth, keeps on talking like a chatterbox. He's called as loquacious. Suppose a person who doesn't talk at all and sits like this is called as laconic. Laconic means a person who doesn't talk. He's an introvert. Okay. So whatever it is the word which talks about the condition. Next one, you have has. He has a pen. Has is a word which talks about possession. Possession. Possession means kaligi undadam. Then you have the last word, he ran fast. Ran is a verb. Sentence, ran is the verb. So, verb is of three, not types. Verb is defined in three ways. Okay. And now based on this definition, the verb is divided into two types, right? First one is the main verb. Second one is the auxiliary verb. So what is a main verb? See, if I have a board here, I would have explained you clearly. First, you listen to it. In 1 or 2 days, I'll be arranging a tripod and I'll explain you everything. Fine. So, what is a main verb? A verb which explains about action is called as main verb, and a verb which explains about state and position is called as auxiliary verb. Okay, state and position. That verb is called as auxiliary verb. Now you heard only two types of verbs. One is main verb, the other one is auxiliary verb. Then you might have asked me, then what is helping verb? Where did it come from? Helping verb is also an auxiliary verb. But when an auxiliary verb is called as helping verb only when an auxiliary verb supports the main verb. For example, he is fast. Is said to be only auxiliary verb because it talks about state, condition of the person. He is running fast. Is an auxiliary verb supporting another verb. Then only it should be called as helping verb. Did you understand the difference between the helping verb and auxiliary verbs? Not all the verbs are helping verbs, my dear friends. Okay. So is, if it is only individual, is, am, are, was, were, if they are individual, they are called as auxiliary verbs. If they are supporting the main verb only, then they are called as helping verbs. Now tell me, do you know how many helping verbs are there? Sorry, auxiliary verbs are there. 24 auxiliary verbs are there. Okay. What are the auxiliary verbs? You have be forms. Be forms are nothing but is, am, are, was, were. Remember, be forms are nothing but is, am, are, was, were. Then have forms. Have forms are nothing but have, has, had. Okay. Then do forms. Do, did, does. Not done. Do, did, and does. Right? Then you have next form, will. Will has two forms. Will, would. Shall has two forms. Shall, should. May has two forms. May, might. And rest of the words have single form. Must, need, ought, used. In total, all these are called as auxiliary verbs. If you count them in total, you have 24 of them. So 24 auxiliary verbs are there in English language, and when these auxiliary verbs support the main verb only, then they are called as helping verbs, right? Fine. Now, to start the main topic, we will end the class within 10 to 15 minutes, right? To start the main topic, the basic thing, as if we have a skeleton and the spinal cord to us to stand erect or sit straight. Okay. Similarly, there should be a spinal cord to the sentence because the sentence always goes with a structure called as subject, verb, object. Okay? Sentence goes with a structure called as Mr. Koti. Sentence goes with a structure called as subject, verb, object. Right? So, for example, he runs fast. Okay? You have a verb clearly in the sentence. Now, run. Suppose I come to the class and there's some sudden sound, very big noise has come. I say, run. So you all get up and run. So you understood. Sentence is nothing but group of words or word which has a complete sense. If you get an option, yes, I have to do this, it is called a sentence. So what do I mean is run. He ran fast or run, both of them make a sentence. Even a single word run, go. Suppose I come to you and say go, you'll go, right? Please go there. Also you'll go there. Go there. Also you'll go there. So therefore, verb is something, without a verb you cannot construct a sentence. He is fantastic. Is there as a verb. Okay. So he was fantastic. Was is there as a verb. He will be fantastic is also something which talks about a verb, right? So if you see all the sentences, he is fantastic, he was fantastic, he will be fantastic, talks about his condition right now, completed as well as to be completed. So when you're talking about a word called as tense, it doesn't talk about adjectives or it doesn't talk about adverbs or something else. It only talks about only one thing, that is called as verb. So the basic definition is of a tense is, the definition of a tense is nothing but the change in the form of the verb. Tense is nothing but change in the form of the verb. Okay. So now, when you talk about tenses, maybe you all know, and also remember the structure of a sentence is subject, verb, object. And only one thing changes, that is verb. Subject, object remains the same, right? Now, tenses are of three types. You have present tense, past tense, and future tense. Okay? Present tense, past tense, and future tense. Why the tenses are taught to you is, when you write your writing part as well as you speak your speaking module, when you start in one tense, it has to continue in the same tense. And you have a topic called a sequence of tenses. Which tense should go after which tense? Everything will be taken into consideration. So I'm not giving you the whole insight. What is required for your modules, I'm just giving you, filtering them and giving you so that it would be helpful to you. So till now I said what is a tense? Is nothing but change in the form of the verb. And tenses are of three types: present, past, and future. Okay. Now if you have to talk about a verb, it has 4 forms. And those 4 forms of change in the forms of the verb is nothing but conjugation of the verb. It is nothing but conjugation of the verb. Okay. Now what is conjugation of the verb? Verb has 4 forms, I said: V1, V2, V3, V4. Okay. V1 is nothing but present form of the verb. V2 is nothing but past form of the verb. V3 is nothing but past participle form of the verb. And V4 is nothing but present participle form of the verb. I repeat, V1 present, V2 past, V3 past participle, and V4 is present participle, right? Now what is V1? Go, write, jump. Common V1 present forms. For that, what is V2? Went, wrote, jumped. Okay. Then V3, gone, written, jumped, right? And V4, going, writing, jumping. V4 is nothing but V1 plus ing. Okay. So you have to understand, because tense is nothing but change in the form of the verb, right? Now, if you go forward, you will come across something called as types of tenses, further types of tenses. Each tense is divided into 4 types: simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. If you have to talk about something going on regularly in your daily life, then you have to use your present tense. Simple present. Okay. I repeat, V1, V2, V3, V4. V1 is nothing but present form of the verb. V2, past form. V3, past participle. Past participle. V4 is present participle. Go, went, gone, going. Okay. Somebody has asked me, therefore I repeat it. Fine. Now come back. Let us go with types: simple, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. Today we'll go with the simple present tense. Thank you. Right. So simple tense. As I said, the structure of the sentence is subject, verb, object. Look at the screen. I can't use a board right now, so therefore I wrote as if I write on the board. right? So subject, V1, object, just change in the form of the verb, okay? And what are the, normally this is where you all come across some mistakes during the present tense. For example, he is fine if it is given to you. If I ask you to make it into negative, you say he is not fine. Fine. They have a pen. They have pens to write. They don't have pens to write. Why did you take don't there? Why did you not take why they have not pens to write? Okay. He swims fast. He doesn't swim fast. Why did you take doesn't there? There are reasons. Okay. Reasons in the sense there's no history behind it. Why A is written as A means I don't have a reason. I have to go to the alphabetical invention person. Okay. Now here there are rules, my dear friends. When to use do and when to use does. Okay. Now before going to that, you have to understand what are the pronouns. Pronouns are of different kind. Pronoun is nothing but something used instead of a noun. Now, in this pronoun, you have 8 types of pronouns, but we require only one type of pronoun, that is personal pronoun. Maybe you might be having, many of you might be having confusion into this. If you want, make a note of this point also. First person, second person, third person. Pronouns are of 8 types, but personal pronoun has again 3 subtypes, that is first person, second person, third person. First person means common sense. I am very important to me. First of all, if not me, how can I talk about you all? Right? So first person singular is I, plural is you. Okay. Now second person singular is you. For example, how are you, my dear friend? How are you? Suppose Akanksha is here. I'll ask Akanksha, how are you, Akanksha? So she is the second person to me and I asked her, how are you? Now, Bhanu Prakash, Akanksha, Hayat, Mr. Krishna, these 4 are there. They came to the class. I asked, how are you, my dear friends? Even for them also I use you. So second person singular is you and also plural is you. Third person. Other than you and me, there is something else. It. There is a lady, she. There is a man, he. So he, she, it are singular and plural is they. Okay. Now why did I touch that? When to use do and when to use does. Do is used after the subjects called as you, we, they, and plural nouns. Okay. And does is used after the subjects called as he, she, it, and singular nouns. Right? So you have to be really very careful. And one more point you have to remember here is when you're using third person singular, you should be adding s or es to the verb. For example, he sing well, he dance well. Wrong. He sings well, he dances well. And therefore, another technical issue here is if there is s or es to the verb, you can use does to make it negative. There is no s or es to the verb in simple present tense. You can use do. Okay. So you play chess. Negative is you don't play chess. He plays chess. He doesn't play chess. When you're writing a negative for a does sentence, okay, for example, he sings melodiously. Our, late Balasubramanian Garu, he sings melodiously. He sings. Okay, whatever. So he sings. Suppose one singer is there, he sings melodiously. He sings melodiously. Now, if you want to make it negative, he doesn't sing melodiously. Don't write yes to it. Okay. So that is about the first one. Next, we talk about present continuous. Continuous is something which talks about the continuity. Therefore, among V1, V2, V3, V4, we have to take V4. Now, I writing well, he playing chess doesn't match. So you have to have a helping verb. Therefore, the helping verbs of present tense or auxiliary verbs of present tense are, is, am, are. Even have, has are also the auxiliary verbs of present tense, but they're used in perfect tense. Only be forms are used in continuous tense. Okay. So is, am, are plus be4 are said to be in present tense, right? Present continuous. So he is singing. So when you use this present continuous, when you're writing or talking, when any action has started at the point that you talk and it is continuing from that time and going on and on and on, that is called as present continuous. Means the action has to start at that point of time and should go on going. Then you have when to use simple present, when the action is a regular event. I go to school regularly because I'm the dean of a school. Don't think that I'm a child and I'm okay, fine. Everyone is a child here. And I write exam every weekend if you have a habit of writing exam. I listen to IELTS class every evening. Fine. It's a regular action. Fine. Now, when to use a perfect tense? Present perfect especially. In perfect tense, do remember that you have to use V3, past participle. You may ask me, ma'am, what is this in present tense? Past participle. Yes, past participle is not a word to be used in only past tense. Past participle indicates that the action is just completed. Okay, I did the work. I have done the work. Listen to me carefully. I did the work. I have done the work. In the sentence, I did the work indicates that you did the work yesterday, 10 years before, or 20 years before. Anything, or 10 minutes before. But I have done the work indicates I completed the work. I have done the work right now. You need not mention right now. But I have done the work indicates that the work is just completed. So that's the difference between normal past tense and present perfect tense. Okay. The action when it is completed at any point of time and it is completed, that is past tense, simple past. But when the action is completed just now at that moment, then you have to mention it in present perfect. So when you're doing your speaking and everything, you should be very careful. And writing also. Then you have another tense. Today I only complete present tense. Okay. So let us go with present perfect continuous. Now, normally in rainy season, not in present winter, in rainy season, when you sleep and you wake up in the morning, you come out and see, suppose you woke up at 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. in the morning, you come out and see that it is raining. Then you go to your mom and ask, Amma, varsham eppadi nunchi padutondi? Then she says, పొద్దు నుంచి 3 గంటల నుంచి పడుతోందమ్మా. Right? So, the thing is, when any action has started sometime in the past, not very much in the past, sometime in the past, and also continuing at the moment of the talking, then it is called to be addressed in present perfect continuous tense. When did the rain start? 3 a.m. in the morning. Going on and on. Even now it is 6:30 in the morning. Still going on. You're at 6:30 point of time. Then that is called to be used in, it should be used in present perfect continuous tense. Okay. That's why your mom will say, what the answer is expected from your mom? It has been raining for 2 hours, or it has been raining since 3 a.m. in the morning. Okay. So you should be really very careful what to address and how to address. Okay. So this completes your present tense for today, and tomorrow I'll be talking about your past and future. And so I hope many of you will have some works and all. And tomorrow we'll be talking about the vocabulary part also. Today, actually, I want to talk about the vocabulary of travel. This paper also I'll be posting in the group about the vocabulary of travel. Okay. So normally, oh, you're not able to see anything. I guess you can see this is the vocabulary of travel. Okay. So this vocabulary of travel will help you to understand passages, reading passages. Normally these are the combination of words which will be given in reading passages. Please use them for your reference. This will increase and boost up, and we can discuss in the coming classes after completion of a bit part of grammar, because that grammar will help you for the next part which is going to come. Okay, for the writing. The second module is what we are going to do is writing. If I finish reading and writing first, we can do proper revision on that. By the end, we can finish off all the slots at one level go. Okay. Now, if there are any doubts, you can chat with me. Today, you will receive your paper after the session or tomorrow morning. So please complete and let us discuss the answers tomorrow. Any doubts, you can chat. Okay, no one is chatting, so I understand you have no doubts. So thank you very much. Let us call it a day. Let us stop the class. Thank you. Mr. Kishan, you can stop the class.